Welcome to the Sacred Window podcast. Here, we look closely at the intersections of the postpartum window, the Ayurvedic perspective on health and healing, and the universal mother principles that are the keys to giving and receiving effective care. Hello, I'm Christine Eck. I'll be taking you through interviews with professionals who are making a profound difference in the lives of their clients, conversations with individuals brave enough to share their stories of vulnerability as a way to lift up others, and my own journey through birth, parenting, caregiving, and building a conscious business. We are here to honor the sacred windows, the profound transitions in life that give it all meaning. Welcome to the conversation.
And I will never be the same again.
Welcome to the Sacred Window podcast. Today, I'm called to explore the aspect of conscious care that directs us to move forward into our offerings, into spaces with people we're caring for, that is led by perception from that third eye of consciousness. So much of the work that we do in the world around us is guided by what we see, what we think, what we understand as the responsibility for us to achieve, what is expected of us, what is known, what is proven, what is documented. But this allows us to move into a different space where it's about what we know on a divine level, on a universal level, on a felt and experienced level, on a way that is truly looking at the individual in front of us and tapping into what their unique, beautiful, divine artwork of a moment is experiencing, and adjusting and answering that. There is an opportunity within conscious care, whether it is for postpartum people, whether it is for ourselves, whether it's for our child, and certainly in relationship to partners, we have an opportunity to engage with an understanding of what is beyond what we see. And so when we lean into this in the Ayurvedic understanding, there's so many ways that we can point to how this manifests in actual care, how this manifests in actual lived reality. But one way we can start to tap into this is understanding with the example of body work. In Ayurveda, we have these, we acknowledge everybody has them, but when we look through the Ayurvedic framework, we recognize that there are energetic points along the entire body called marma. And these are the ends of pathways from our energetic centers through the main line of the body. And when we access these beautiful centers of energetic reception, we are able to shift the operational output of the body, of the mind. And so when we start to look at the practice of this type of body work, meaning marma therapy as the example, we recognize that this is more about an energetic exchange versus a physical practice. And this subtle change opens up so much more possibility and so much more authenticity in the way that we offer service to families. So stick with me. I'm using this as a bit of an analogy. When we are thinking about a practice such as marmotherapy, or we're learning a new skill, maybe we're learning the mechanics of any type of care, we often focus on how is it done? Where are my hands? What is the sequence? What is the result? What are the benefits? I want to know all these things. I want to have them memorized. I want to be able to explain it, and I want to have it locked in. And this is all very natural. This is our pitta, but this is also taking the pressure of one system and trying to apply that to a million unique beings. What happens when we shift our care to conscious care? We start to inquire about the energetic quality that we are offering, as well as what is being experienced by the person I'm giving care to. And within that meeting, within that convergence, is where healing can begin to open and can begin to happen. When we take one way and put it on every single person, we are missing the medicine of the moment. We're missing that unique opportunity that we have to fully tap into what we're gathering from this third eye of knowing, this higher wisdom that is always present. So I've been really exploring this in my own life. Every single episode you listen to is a little glimpse into my own journey. So thank you for being along for this ride. I was talking today with a student who's beginning her practice, and this was coming up so powerfully in her own experience of feeling really uncomfortable, feeling really like an imposter moving out into her community with this work, feeling like she had to have her offerings just so. And I realized, because I've been diving deeply into the marmas and the energetic framework and practicing in my own work, how listening to clients, and I'll get to that in a little bit, how listening and trying to create an energy exchange with them that informs me about what my best course of care is. I was seeing this exact same thing play out in this student's experience of her own sort of rigid mental identity of what she needed to be, which was in conflict to the beautiful, complete, and authentic work of art that she and her gifts are. Each one of us is coming to this practice from our own background, our own unique set of understandings, of viewpoints, of gifts, of callings. You are enough in this moment. You do not have to create yourself as part of this external identity of this is what a postpartum care provider does. All of those things are informative. They are all helpful, but they are not going to feel situated in yourself if you are trying to take yourself and put yourself in a box. What becomes truly impactful to the people you interact with, whether it's your clients or anybody, most importantly, ourselves, is when we can step fully into the moment we are in, knowing what it is that we're holding, what it is that we have, what do we know, what do we experience, what have we embodied, what is here. This is what I have. This is who I am in this moment. as a care provider who's here to support you. And that is enough. And as we naturally move into our world, as our practices expand, we are going to learn new things. We're going to experience new things in our own bodies. We're going to have a million aha moments. We're going to expand our training. We're going to do all these things that are naturally going to shift what is authentically here in every moment. But disassociating ourselves with that identification that this thing out here is what I have to be in order to offer loving care. This is harmful to our ability to be fully here and to create the relationships with our clients, with ourselves, with our loved ones in the way that is truly allowing that energetic exchange to flow, that information coming to that higher I, that higher wisdom, because that is constant. We simply need to move out of its way. How are you sharing your gifts and passion for caregiving with others? In a world where education and awareness around the postpartum window is lacking or missing from our modern systems, we have a profound opportunity to shift that paradigm. You may be a few simple offerings away from making a truly impactful difference in the lives of mothers and families in your community. We are here to support your journey in the ways that work best for you. Schedule a conscious care strategy session to meet one-on-one with me, and let's identify the right next step for you to begin a path of conscious care for new families that fits your life and your needs. Visit www.sacredwindowstudies.com/strategy-session to schedule a time that works best for you. That's www.sacredwindowstudies.com/strategy-session. I was with a client yesterday who has had some kind of a reoccurring uh, long-term pain in a part of her body that we've sort of worked with on and off for several years. And as I've been doing this, like deep dive into the energetic points and trying to listen to my own energetic wisdom when in a caregiving scenario, I started to handle her body work session differently. And I started to just simply breathe with her and listen to what her body was telling me in a new way. And I've done this before, but there was something different about it yesterday. And her experience of it was also really different. The way that she expressed afterwards, she's like, something is shifting, something is changing in here. It's really good. And this was a beautiful affirmation of I have to stop thinking with my brain sometimes, a lot of times, and shift into also listening with my prana, my energetic wisdom, which is coming in a regular stream if I am conscious enough to be a listener. So perhaps this is applicable to you and your work. I trust that when I come to things that pop into my media stream and things that I'm listening to, or things that I read, or people that I meet and conversations that I have are directing me to something that I need to hear that day. So perhaps that's the case with this episode. I guess I'd like to offer, because my pitta likes to have direction, a few things that can be helpful in allowing us to shift our work from this is what I offer to this is conscious work. This is conscious care. And the first is when we are actively in a moment of caregiving, use your breath as that conduit for prana. Envision your prana coming in and out in an unimpeded flow. For example, when I was in that treatment yesterday, allowing myself to pause at each area of her body and just breathe gently in and out, trusting that the information I needed was going to come, and it will. Oftentimes, we might find ourselves holding our breath or thinking more about the sequence or the mechanics of what we're doing or the performance of what we're doing versus the actual feeling of what we're doing. So, our breath is that natural shift that allows us to make that change, to make that switch. So, simply breathing into these places. And what we find using the example of the marmas are energetic points on the body that direct to much larger spaces and systems within the body. So our energetic application is what communicates that point. So therapy, whether it's also realizing that other forms of body care are also marma therapy in a way, because we're always trying to shift and adjust that energetic system, which impacts the nervous system, which impacts the flow of things like breast milk and, and digestion and elimination, our Agni range, as well as all of the other elements that are on a more physical level. I guess the other practical piece that I'll leave us with is that it all begins with our space within. So when we're coming out into the world to do the things we're called to do or to do the things that we are responsible for in life, taking that moment to attend to what is happening on the inside first. Perhaps this will lead us back to the breath to create that connection with ourself. Perhaps it's stepping outside and giving a quiet moment. But I know for myself that it's really easy to rush through the day and barely pause. But what happens when I'm able to give myself that space, things naturally begin to integrate and settle and regulate. And when things are regulated within, I'm more discerning on the outside. I have the ability, I have the capacity to be a better listener. And this has come up in my relationships recently. Even when I think I'm being a good listener, I'm not actually being a good listener all the time. And I'd like to be a good listener. So giving that reflective space in between things, whether it's, sitting in the car while I'm dropping one child off at this game and another child has to go to this thing, that moment can be for me. We are a work in progress. We are a beautiful piece of artwork in progress. And however that painting unfolds, that sculpture, that this journey unfolds, the inevitable piece of it is that we are expansive beings and we are learning more and growing more. And as I told the student that I spoke with today, who was feeling that pressure of becoming something that she didn't feel like she was or was ready or qualified to be, I realized that we are enough. We're enough. There's something about the quality of just being exactly who we are in this moment and knowing that what is here is what leads us to the next piece. What is here is what helps us along the way, and therefore, skipping any part of this journey does a disservice to what comes next. This practice, whatever you're doing that has drawn you to listen to this podcast, you're offering conscious care in some way, whether it's as a professional, whether it's in your own life, whether it's in your own body and being. This calling that we are following is creating a manifested expression of what this work is to be a human, to be consciously situated in understanding our truest of true hearts at any given moment, and all the ways that we feel inferior or behave inferior or look back and say, oof, what was happening with me at that moment? That's all part of it. And by being called to give conscious care to another person, whatever they may be navigating, this is a resonant choice that is deeply reflective of your commitment to that third eye, higher wisdom space. So I honor you on that journey as I walk right alongside you. Every single step of the way, we're all journeying together. Wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we're all here. So thank you. Thank you for listening. And if you have any thoughts about it, I'd love to hear them. You can always feel free to reach out. Thank you for the conscious care that you bring.
Shanti, Shanti.
The Center for Sacred Window Studies has been training postpartum care providers, professionals who work with new families, and individuals passionate about postpartum care since 2018. We regularly host live free events alongside our online and in-person training and certification programs. Hop on our newsletter list to get direct access to all of our events and community support gatherings. Our mission is not only in training conscious postpartum care providers, but in fostering a robust, informed, and thriving community of postpartum professionals. Once you step inside, you're family forever. Visit www.sacredwindowstudies.com to add your email to our newsletter list. You can support our work by subscribing to the Sacred Window podcast and sharing with someone you know who would love it. Thanks for being here and participating in the culture-wide shift that recognizes the need for and the importance of conscious postpartum care.